So I just did this short on my two cars. It's kind of mantra that I didn't really get to. I just noticed that because of a couple decades ago, this guy came to me and said, "Hey, I got these two cars really cheap. Do you want them?" And I said, "Yeah." And they were really great, you know. And then I said, I think I'll make that a mantra and see what happens. So I said, I need two new cars like that. And every time I do that, somebody shows up. So a while back, I did several years ago. I said, I need two new cars, like a great deal. Now the first ones were $500 for two cars, super deal. Now the seller was happy to get rid of them, and that's, I think, critical. And that's what I want. I want people to be happy to get rid of these cars. So the next one was, I said, I think I need two more cars. And so this friend of ours said, "Hey, my son has these cars. We just want to get rid of them." And I said, "How much?" She said, "Oh, they're free. Just take them." And I said, "Okay." I did, and I sold them. I sold those. Like I mentioned before in a video a long time ago, I should have kept one and sold off the other one to a junkyard, honestly. And so I've done it a couple of other times and come up with more cars. And then I just did it day before yesterday. And then yesterday, my body guy said, "Hey, I need some money. I got these two cars." It's always two cars. Why? Because that's what I'm asking for, two cars. So maybe I need to expand that to four, but I don't want to right now. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with these two because I've moved and the marketing for them is more complicated. But I'm probably going to buy them. I mean, they're pretty cheap. Now, I've also got another mantra out there for two really nice cars for free. Now, if anything is possible, then that's possible. That's part of the stuff that's called anything, right? Anything is possible. So that is, I've got the make and model, and I don't really care too much about the mileage and stuff like that, but I want them in great shape, and I want them to be white with some blue trim. So that's really all I've got the make and model, color, blue trim, good condition, running, of course. If you don't say it, you're not going to get it. And so that's what I have been doing. Now, it has to be within your realm of belief. If it's not, even though you say it, but you internally don't really believe it, it'll drag its feet until you are ready. That's the only thing holding it up. Don't look out there and think something's holding it up. There's no out there. We've talked about this. There's no out there. It's just you. Yeah, I know that's hard to believe, and that's very compelling. As Einstein said, everything that we experience is an illusion. I'll bet a very persistent illusion. But listen, it is an illusion. It's your very personal illusion. It's not my illusion. I've got my illusion. It's right there. I know what it is. You've got yours. Yours is what you see outside every day. And you can go out and try to fix your illusion by working on it out there, but that will not work. It's exactly like trying to fix your hair in a mirror. You know better, but you don't know better necessarily about trying to fix that. Trust me, I am always in a first compulsion to work on it out there. And then lately I just stop and I just say, okay, I got to go in here because if I don't do it in here, it will not show up out there. You know, I've got a couple houses that I wanted for me, and they did not materialize. And I know why. It's because I wasn't lined up 100% in here. I didn't really believe it. And I didn't believe it. Okay. And then I started looking and I said, oh. So I did another video here just recently that said, I'm shocked, you know, I'm really shocked at what I find in here. But I shouldn't be because I can look right out there and I can tell what I believe in here. I don't have to know what's in here, but I do have to be able to look out there and say, and make the connection. You know what I mean? Make the real connection that, okay, there it is out there, so it must be coming from in here, just like a mirror. So, my two cars, you can use that. And the reason it's so effective is because I've experienced it. I experienced it all, you know, I took the circumstances that just showed up, and then I said, oh, well, it worked there. And I wasn't even thinking about it. And so it'll work when I start to think about it. Now, there's a disconnect between those kind of crappy cars. I mean, they weren't really that great compared to the two that I have in my mind that I want right now. They haven't shown up. Why? Because it's a stretch. It's a big stretch from free, really nice cars to free, so-so cars, right? Now, for a lot of people getting a free car of any kind, I mean, I'm talking about both of these cars were running, they were in great shape in terms of mechanically, except for the dented fender and the one that if you want to reference that video, just look for it. They were running decent cars, you know. Now, the other ones that I have in my mind here that haven't reflected back in the mirror of my reality yet are big. They're a big difference between the condition that I have in my mind and the condition of those other cars that I have experienced. That's the difference. But if I can bridge that gap, and I call it belief bridge, then bam, they'll show up. Just, it has to be that way. So work on it, work on that, and have fun. Don't stress about it. Don't think about it too much, because the more you think about it, the more you doubt it, I think. I mean, that may not be true, but it could be. So, but watch that. And that's the whole thing. Have fun.